with CJ.
Yeah.
Herbert.
For 8.
Yeah, him and CJ.
Behind Herbert.
J-Lo and CJ it's perfect company.
That was your take.
So it's by the way, and it's still my take. Like I know they both made the playoffs last year, and because I want to be clear, because I feel like my Packers take could be misconstrued, or my J-Lo take where I say I don't know. Am I buying that this could happen? Yes, because that's the point I'm making about J-Lo, is that I think he does have super high upside. His physical gifts, and we've seen, his high-end stuff is like, holy smokes. Like, he really did watch Aaron Rodgers for 3 years, learn some of that stuff, add his own flair to it. Right. But there is also, he doesn't have the established floor of the other, those are franchise quarterbacks. And I feel similarly about CJ. Like, they're very different players. I don't think CJ has maybe the physical gifts Jordan does, but where they are both, to me, in the question categories. And by the way, Caleb is too. Like, I know I had Caleb, the Bears, doing well, so I'm not, out or anti-J-Lo. I'm just saying I'm not ready to say minted, definite, known quantity franchise quarterback. But, yeah, the talent makes this possible.
Am I right in asking, you're saying, I don't think there's a question about J-Lo and CJ. Are they kind of your franchise quarterback? I feel like your question is he a star?
Yes.
Okay, but I mean,
I don't think in 2 years the Packers are going to be looking for a new quarterback.
Right.
That's yes. Yeah.
But is he a star?
Is he really an MVP
fair.
candidate type of guy?
I think that's fair because we saw him for a great half a season, and then the rest has been kind of up and down.
Yes.
He's been good, but not awesome. Yes. Certainly he could be an MVP finalist. If Matthew Golden is a number 1 receiver now, that's huge because those other guys are good. Jaden Reed and those guys as number 2 receivers. You got the run game. You got a great play caller in LaFleur. Everything's there, and the defense is solid. They have to win the division, I would imagine.
Well, that's what it would go in line with what your prediction is. Yeah. You know what I mean?
If they win the division, he's in the race.
Oh, yeah. This is the end of the segment. It's they just forced this segment at the very end, leading into their new overtime show or whatever the heck it's called. Because this is this is hardly controversial or even worth buying J-Lo as an MVP finalist. Here are the odds. Great quarterback, great quarterback, great quarterback, great quarterback, great quarterback, great quarterback, great quarterback. Yeah. The fact that Jordan Love is in this mix, in this fold of all these other quarterbacks, yeah, of course. Of course. And questioning his floor just doesn't really make sense to me. I think Jordan Love is a type of quarterback where you truly see his special when he's got the dudes around him. We would not be able to see the special in Joe Burrow if Jamar Chase and T. Higgins weren't there. Now, to be clear, it's not to say that Joe Burrow is only great because of those receivers, but his brand of great, his brand of special, you need the dudes. You need the dudes around him. And you can't just say that for everyone. I do not believe, this is where people get some of those statements kind of twisted. I do not believe that if you had Jamar Chase and T. Higgins as wide receivers, that from just a strictly passing perspective, that Baker Mayfield or Jalen Hurts or Lamar Jackson or whatever, any of these other quarterbacks that would be, considered special or great or good even, that they're going to be able to do what Joe Burrow did from a passing perspective with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. And I put Jordan Love in that boat in terms of in order to really see just how special this quarterback can be, you need the bodies there. You need the bodies there in a way that the brand of special of a Mahomes, a Jaden, an Allen, a Lamar, you don't need as much. Just because of what, just what they bring to the table, I suppose. So you could say that some of those other quarterbacks are a little bit more resilient then, and I think that's totally fair. and we've seen that over the years. But I don't think that should be used as a way to constantly undercut or cut down the Burrows or the CJ Strouds or the Jordan Loves of the NFL. CJ Stroud's brand of special is being like a special playmaker from the pocket. And if you're going to be a special playmaker from the pocket, you need the receivers there. You need the guys there. You need the protection there. And that's okay. Right? Like that's okay. Not everyone has to look like this singular quarterback that we've kind of just invented in our minds who can apparently do it all. So to me, that's where Jordan Love is, and it's just like he needs the bodies there. So it's just not fair to me to kind of I don't want to say question Jordan Love, because I think to a degree it's always fair to be questioned until you truly prove who you are. But I guess like sometimes when people say, "Oh, well, I'm just questioning," I'm not sure, it's more doubt. I think that we've reached the point where there's more of a fundamental doubt with Jordan Love and CJ Stroud, where like Nick kind of changed his answer here with Brew and Wild saying like, well, what are you saying? Are you saying that he's a franchise quarterback but not a starter? Like Nick is pretty much saying like we don't even know what their floor is. That like things could be really bad with Jordan Love or even a CJ Stroud, but obviously we're just focusing on Jordan Love here. And to me, I think that's ridiculous. I think that's genuinely ridiculous, because I think if you give Jordan Love a complete offense, he will tear you up. And saying that the defense is good, the defense had been great. Had been great. So we did not see Jordan Love healthy. That much is very, very obvious. And it's okay to say that injuries can inhibit someone. I mean, I know we love just to pretend that injuries are just not that, and that it doesn't matter, or that everyone's banged up or this, that. Like Jordan Love was clearly not right. And now, unfortunately, he's starting off the season already with the surgery on his back. Like not obviously on his actual back, but I just mean like the metaphor back. And it's frustrating to see. Hopefully it ends up not being anything, and hopefully it doesn't really inhibit what the rhythm and flow that they're looking to get into starting in week 1. But to me, Jordan Love has already proven that his ceiling can be through the roof, but in order to be able to actually unleash a Jordan Love, you need the bodies. You need the bodies. You need the bodies. You need the bodies. To me, that much is very much true. And so now that is why they went out and got a wide receiver in the draft, right? They very much realized like, okay, this kid can make throws all over the field. There's not a single throw that he cannot make. We need the receivers there. If we have the receivers there for it, Jordan Love's presence and his ability to throw the ball becomes greater than the sum of the parts. That's what it is with like a Joe Burrow in that regard, with the Jamar Chase and the Teagan said. It's like it becomes greater with Joe Burrow throwing the ball and the type of throws that he's making. It just elevates it all around in a way that, say, Baker Mayfield wouldn't. Or even a Jalen Hurts, for that matter, if we're looking at something from strictly passing. And, Jordan Love also lost his mobility. He was obviously never a real running quarterback in the sense of like a Lamar, Josh, or Hurts, or Jaden, but he definitely wanted nothing to do with getting hit. And I don't blame him. And I'm sure they probably also were like, you got to protect your knee, you got to protect your knee, got to protect your knee. But that much was very much obvious. And I remember even doing a clip months into the season where Ryan Clark was discussing it and just talking about there was opportunities for him to kind of run, and he just wasn't at all. And it was interesting because his pressure to sack percentage was pretty low and his scrambles were non-existent. And so he was just kind of getting rid of the ball, which is definitely certainly better than just kind of taking all these sacks. But in a weird way, he wasn't optimizing his play at that point. And I imagine that should change this coming season. But, you know, it's definitely kind of a wait and see. But kind of questioning that he could be an MVP finalist when we just like throw out this list of quarterbacks out there. It's like, well, yeah. I mean, like, why is he not in this category of quarterbacks? Obviously, we got the special of the special of the special with like the Lamars, the Allen, Burrow, and Mahomes and whatnot. Like that's all fair. But once you start to see that they're putting Jaden right there and Hurts right there and Herbert right, you know, like, yeah, Jordan Love completely belongs in that category and in that conversation. That's just not controversial to me by any stretch of the imagination, like at all. If you started to put him in this category with like Kirk Cousins and, you know, young quarterbacks like a Caleb Williams, JJ McCarthy, then you'd be like, well, wait a second, like why are you devaluing what Jordan Love has showed us that he could do? And even in his uneven season, dealing with personal injuries and team injuries, he played pretty well considering of how difficult of a season how difficult it was for them to like get momentum going, and yet they were still able to win a ton of games and get to the playoffs and contend with the Eagles, albeit not pretty by any stretch of the imagination. That goes an incredibly long way for me, for sure. So yeah, it's always interesting to me to see how the perceptions of these quarterbacks just up and down, up and down, up and down. And I do see way more people than I have in the past of really, really significantly doubting Jordan Love and just fundamentally not believing that he is a legitimately great quarterback. And that's just something that I fundamentally disagree with. But I remain firm that he's in the category of quarterbacks where he needs the pieces to really unleash just his brand of special. And when he has that, it's on, man. It's on. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Green Bay Packers and Jordan Love being an MVP finalist, and this idea that his floor hasn't been revealed quite yet? Even though he led this team to the playoffs, being injured with an injured mess of a roster, I don't know. But let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.